All right. What's going on? Trace might be joining soon. If you want to call in and join, call in and join. Let's have some fun. If no one calls in, this stream's over. So you will lose it for everyone. Everyone always asks for this. So here we are, streaming live on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. So Reds in a rain delay with the Red Sox. Reds trailing 2-1. I think we're in the fourth inning. So what's going on, people? Hi, AJ. Hi, Aaron. Hi, Andrew. Hi, Austin Wins Fan Club. Tough days these days for you. Lance, George, what's up? Carolyn, Dunny17, what's going on? The link is in there. I'll post it again to join the show. If anyone's having any issues, let me know. All right, link is posted again. So someone call in. Let's do this. Don't make me look like an idiot any more than normal. Looks like it is pouring in Boston. Just looking at a picture from G-Dub, the legend. I mean, I love it too, Matt, but no one's calling in. So you know what? Doesn't really work if no one calls in. Mark, why don't you call in, brother? Love to talk to you. I'll run through the game where we're at so far while I wait for a caller. Reds trailing 2-1 to the Red Sox. Brady Singer, man, it looked like he was really gonna get out of hand. Gave up 2 runs in the first. Benson made a nice play that kind of saved him a little bit, and he's settled in. Reds got 1 back in the third, so we're going to the top of the fourth with the Reds trailing. And if I understand the rain delay rules, if this game does not get started back up, nothing happened. So that'd be a pretty good thing. Looks like Ricky Logan is joining. Ooh, Ricky, I gotta fix this. This looks weird, brother. All right, well, there we go. Ricky, my friend,
Hey.
what's cracking? How we doing, man?
How's it going?
Living the dream. Living the dream. What's life with you?
Oh, it's going all right. Just started writing with SI with James Rapine and Reds Daily. That's kind of cool.
Nice. When's your next pregame show with Mike?
Friday. We got
Nice.
Friday.
All right. What'd you think of the game so far, Ricky?
Dick Fitz is a pretty good pitcher.
Dick is giving the Reds fits tonight.
Yeah, he is.
I don't know. It's kind of a weird game, but I don't know. I feel like they're in a decent spot. Obviously, just you'd love for this game just to get banged and have a suspended game, and I know the Red Sox have a pretty good bullpen, and they are rested, so I don't know, but it's probably going to be a bullpen game either tonight or tomorrow, right?
You would think it makes sense to do that. What's it?
I'm
fourth inning.
I'm assuming Singer's probably done, unless this is the way it sounds like. There's going to be a lengthy delay. How many pitches is he at? He's at 56 pitches. Yeah. I can't imagine if this is more than an hour, they're going to send him back out there.
Yeah, that'd be shocking, honestly. I mean, crazier things have happened, but that's if it was under 50, maybe. But yeah.
Yeah. This is really, if this game gets banged, it'd be a great thing for the Reds. But if this game gets picked back up, I think it's a really bad thing for the Reds. Because you're probably looking at Sam Ben Scooter probably comes in and pitches because he was called up basically for this type of scenario.
Yeah, and I didn't know a whole lot about him, honestly. He wasn't one that I thought would have been promoted right away, but it was kind of refreshing to see La Sorsa go back down. And with Maul, he hasn't been great in AAA, but he hasn't been miserable either. So maybe just him coming up and maybe just a change of scenery maybe helps him out, and being in just maybe lower pressure situations too might be good too.
Yeah. I remember he came on my radar. He was in the Arizona Fall League in 2022. I had never heard of him before that. He's battled some vertigo issues, I think, that kind of has derailed his career. I know he's a guy. I mean, if you know if you get sent to the Arizona Fall League, that's because there's something that you do that the Reds like that they want to see more of.
Yeah.
So that's a positive sign for him. He was on actually a really good roll down at AAA, and actually of late had kind of struggled. Kind of funny how sometimes that works out that your number gets called where you're not even pitching your best. But
Yeah.
yeah, it'd be a tough spot in this one to come in cold, but you know, you never know.
Yeah. It'd be a
Obviously,
rough place to make your debut.
yeah, best case scenario is this game gets banged.
Yeah.
And
You'd
they
hope
play a
that would.
doubleheader tomorrow. I wonder who I guess the Reds will probably have to go with the bullpen game tomorrow. I don't. Petty pitched tonight, so he's not an option. When did Brian Van Bell pitch?
I
Was
feel
that on
like it was
Sunday?
not yesterday, but the day before.
So
Yes.
he's out.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah,
that's
because you tweeted your thing and about what was it? So many
swing and
Ks
misses.
or something.
Swing and misses. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Kozar tried to call you out.
I was like, I mean, I just thought it was interesting.
Yeah, you didn't compare him. You just
Yeah.
say to the fact that 4 pitchers had that, and he just happened to be one of them.
I was not comparing Brian Van Bell to Tarek Skubal, just to clarify. Aaron Wilkerson, when did he pitch last? He's probably the guy if he's remotely fresh. Last time he pitched was on 6/28. So is that's Saturday? So Sunday, Monday. Dang, he's only on 3 days rest too, man.
Yeah, it's a rough.
Jesus.
Lance in
Randy
the chat
Wynn?
said Burns can pitch. He only pitched 1 inning yesterday.
Too soon, brother. Too soon.
Yeah.
I mean, dang it. Yeah, I mean, it would probably be Ben Scooter in a bullpen game.
Yeah.
The Reds have had successful bullpen games. I'll give them that. Randy Wynn probably gets called up. He last pitched on 6/24. Drew Parrish. He's a lefty. The Red Sox do have a lot of left-handed batters. When did he pitch last? He last pitched on 6/26. So probably one of those guys would get called up as a length guy. But my guess is they'd probably use them like they did with Petty, where it's a break if in case of emergency kind of guy. Yeah, I don't think the Red Sox pitching is necessarily in a great spot either, so I don't necessarily think they're super prepared for a doubleheader.
Yeah, because they were planning on a bullpen day tomorrow, right?
No, they have Brian. How do you say his name? It's not Bello.
Bayo.
Bayo, yeah, Bayo. Mike Hart was sent me it earlier. The pronunciation guide, I forgot. Yeah, I mean they'd probably have to call someone up too. So I mean it would be kind of one of those. You know, it is what it is. But obviously, when you're trailing, you'd love just to start fresh, no matter what you have to kind of deal with tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm looking at RotoWire. Richardson threw 12 pitches on Sunday. Maybe he could go 2 innings, but
yeah. I mean, you'd have several guys have a day off. I mean, in theory, unfortunately, Suter threw quite a lot of pitches yesterday, 48.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, everyone pitched. But you know what? Emilio Pagan's only pitched 1 day in the last week. Same with Santillan.
Maybe you go that early Tampa Bay Devil Rays mentality where they started their closer and kind of work their way down.
Yeah. Start with Sam Mole. He might be the guy. But we'll see. I assume the Red Sox are going to do everything they can to try to get this game restarted. I mean, with having the lead. So,
yeah, it stinks, having to do this with the bullpen and then go into the Philadelphia series with a taxed bullpen.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's possible they wouldn't do a doubleheader and they would um, play on Thursday. I don't know. Are the Red Sox off on Thursday? Let's see. Let's see if the Red Sox play on Thursday. They do not. They're off on Thursday too. I think I've heard from most teams that they prefer to have the off days,
Yeah.
and they prefer to do the doubleheaders than to get an extra guy to get called up. Um, but yeah. All right, we have a caller. Ricky, you want to stay on here with me and
Yeah, sure. I can hang out for a
have
little bit.
some fun? All right. Trace might join at some point. We got MF.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's going on? I got the dump button quick, MF.
Oh, no. I'm Matt, who said love the banana phone.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'd share my cam, but that's maybe I'd get dumb too quick. No.
Don't need all that sexy in here. What's going on, MF?
No, I'm kidding. But so the old school banana phone, and I apologize if there's background noise. I'm sitting on my back porch here in Middletown, Ohio, waiting for the Reds to come back on and beat up on them Sox. But traditionally, I feel like it's kind of a maybe a loose, a lighter-hearted question for the banana phone for Marty, and I'm picturing like the '90s and 2000s banana phone. So, question for you, number one, what stock do you put into? And this is a little bit more baseball serious related, but the whole looking at the iPads, analyzing the swing and all that, and versus just communicating. What have you guys heard anything? Any stock in that?
How much stock do I put in using the iPad and stuff for to
So,
to
so recently, I think it was on a TV broadcast. They talked a little bit about how hitters are coming off of the either at bat or negative, and talking to the batter, and just communicating more personally than relying on sitting in the dugout. What did I do wrong on this at bat versus that? And I don't know what game I was watching. I feel like it was just recent in the Padres series that they talked a little bit about just the differences they've made in the dugout to be hitting the ball a little bit better than they were in April. So, might make them a little bit more sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think you probably need a combination. You probably need someone that can physically see stuff, and I think if you have the technology, you have the iPads, you got to use them. You can see a lot more data. They have clear and distinct rules on exactly how you're allowed to use the iPads.
For sure.
Because if you could just use them willy nilly, they'd be a massive advantage. So, I mean, I think that you got to use it for sure, but I don't think you can just completely 100% be bound to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm going to use every single thing at my disposal. I'm
For
going to
sure.
try to bring Trace back in. He was like echoing and I couldn't hear you. Let me see if we can see if he'll come in now. All right, Trace, what's up?
Is it all fixed, as they say?
I think so. I think so. Sorry I had to kick you out. I couldn't hear the gentleman from
sense.
Middletown's question.
No, makes sense. Also, I'm not driving. Someone else is driving. It's actually it's a self-automated driving machine. So anyone that wants to chime in and say you shouldn't be driving on your phone, et cetera, I'm not driving. It's a 2013 Honda Odyssey. It's got the latest technology. So yeah, I wanted to get ahead of that before we got to that point. But yeah, just thankful to be on the show. Headed to a Hamilton Joe's little situation. I told someone I would meet him over there for a second, so I'm going to do that and then head back home. How long's the rain delay? That's my main question.
I don't know. AJ Worse was on it on the chat, one of our trusted sources of knowledge, and he said he felt 10:20 would be the restart time. So I think we have a few minutes.
10:20?
I think we have a few minutes. Yeah. That was AJ Worse's wisdom for us. So
Yeah, well, we're relying on AJ for meteorology, then not a very good source. Although I love AJ, I'm not too sure he's a meteorologist.
We'll see. We'll see. Trace, do you have any thoughts on should you rely on the iPads in the dugout?
For what? So what do you mean rely on them?
So, can you guys still hear me? Sorry.
Go ahead.
Yes,
Yeah.
go ahead, please.
So, it was on a recent broadcast that one of the main contributors to the Reds throughout the lineup hitting the ball better was that they essentially ditched, sitting so low, watching the iPad, and just communicating more on what they're seeing at the plate. And you got Nick, Trace, you guys blow up my YouTube feed. Like, my shorts are full of you guys. So, like, hey, long-time listener, watcher, first-time caller. I forgot.
No, I like it. Good question.
Yeah. So, I'm just, former college baseball player and aspirations of further and beyond at one point. And back in 2004 to 9 or 5, 8, whatever, like, iPads barely existed. We were in the crackberry, back then. It's like we couldn't imagine having all of this information available. But, like, I forget who it was who said it, but they attributed the better success in May and June at the plate to just getting a little bit more old school in their communication on what the pitcher's doing. And I'm just curious, just if you guys have any inside information, whatever you want to call it. I'm like, yeah, we threw those things in the trash and we're just talking like, hey, look, fastball pitch 2, look this round 3, whatever, I'm just. But
I do think that sometimes you can get paralysis by analysis in a way. Like you can overanalyze something. We all can do that. Like I think a lot of times people they think that there's this mystical thing of playing professional sports. Although I'm not here to say that I did it, but like playing sports at a relatively high level in your day-to-day life and things that come up, like there's a lot of similarities. When you start to struggle from an athletic perspective, the only difference is you can't just try harder or work harder and it automatically guarantees you better results. I think you can do that a lot in life. Like there are chances where like if you focus on being a pretty good dad or a pretty good husband, there's a really good chance you're going to be a better one. That's not the case. Obviously, you're trying to hit left-handed pitching or something. But to your point, my main point in the whole iPad thing, it all comes down to the individual player. I think that some guys can take data and information and be able to be able to kind of like absorb that very, very well, and then they're able to execute what they absorbed. I think guys like Joey Votto are probably like that. And I'm not trying to like cross-reference guys here, but like you look at golf and Bryson DeChambeau, and he's very, very analytical. That only works for so many people, though. So like if you try to do blanket stuff to where it's like whether it's the hitting coach or whoever else, and you try to say, hey, all of you guys need to come in after your bats and look at the iPad and get an idea of what this guy's trying to do. That doesn't necessarily work for everybody because some guys are just, incapable of being able to still be athletic while analyzing stuff. So, I can understand why they might have some more success if they ditched that. But I guess I would push back on why in the world are they all trying to have the same type of approach in the first place? That seems like a bad recipe just from the start. You know, More times than not, I think when you have too much time on your hands, you start to try to worry and you try to think through too many things instead of just seeing a spade for a spade. So maybe they just kind of realized that and they moved on, but I'm not going to read too much into it. I don't think iPads are the worst thing in the world. I also don't think it should be like something that you totally feel like you have to have in order for you to be able to have quality at bats. So I don't know. I not a very good answer because I think it's not very black and white.
All right, Emma, if I have another caller, did you have another quick question you wanted to get to?
One last quick question, I guess, is I'm not I don't have a ton of time to like study through the like Pro Football Focus, for example, with Bengals information. The bullpen was my only other question is how do we rank? Because more often than not, it feels like they're right there, and then just one or two pitches, one or two innings with the bullpen. That tends to be the issue in these tighter games, and I'll hang up and let you answer that. But how do we stack up in terms of the 1 through 30 on the bullpen standings? I guess is my question.
The bullpen ranks pretty decent towards the middle of the pack for the year, but I think that's fading very quickly, and that's a major concern for me because I think it's going to continue to be a problem.
So if I can ask one just quick follow-up question to that, like what does the farm system look like in terms of the bullpen? Because it feels like everybody coming out of college right now wants to be a flame-throwing starter with 2 or 3 other pitches, and you don't. Well, maybe the kid out of LSU a couple years ago, maybe, but are we drafting for the bullpen? I guess like that's a tough position to draft for. I think.
I don't think you ever draft bullpen guys. I mean, bullpen guys are pretty much failed starters 99% of the time, or they're somebody that found a pitch or found something later in their career, or maybe a year or two into their career, that for whatever reason that was their bread and butter pitch. They should have known about it all along, but they found about it late, and then now they're mowing guys down with it. So then therefore they need to be a reliever, because more times than not, if you have one pitch and you try to throw 6 innings, it just doesn't probably work out as well as if you only had to face maybe 3 or 4 guys in a game. So in order, realistically speaking, you're just not going to draft for bullpen arms, because that's not really I'll say it like this. If you're a bullpen arm in college, then you had a problem in college at some point, and that's why you're not a starter. So there's a good chance you're not going to draft a bullpen guy because you already think that, okay, he's already got this problem at the college level. What's going to happen if we try to do that at the big league level? That's not I say that as a more of a blanket statement, and that's probably not fair. Maybe if there's some guy that's throwing 103 miles an hour, he got stuck in the bullpen, and that's what it is, then okay, so be it. But yeah, I mean, the Reds bullpen is what it is. They're going to have to get some help. They do have maybe Nick, I'm sure you can speak on this better than me, but they do have Maxwell. They still have Luis May, who's, I know, kind of, we've seen him here before. You're not, put it this way, you're not going to have anyone in the farm system right now that you trust to throw any postseason baseball games in. So if that's the focus and that's the reality of what you're trying to get to, is someone that you can trust and rely on in a huge spot, you probably would already be using them right now if you had them. So I don't. Our bullpen's not the world's worst. It's just that in order for us to get to a spot where we feel a little bit better, they're gonna need a left-handed bullpen arm to come in against good left-handed hitters late in games that we can trust to throw strikes, and we can also trust to get guys out. And Rogers has not been that. Brent Suter, oddly enough, hand up, I'll say this. I was thinking about this today, Nick. I am done disrespecting him. I've disrespected him for far too long. He does his job. I mean, I don't know if he's ever going to get a high leverage opportunity, but sadly, if we can't find another left-handed arm, he might end up becoming that guy, whether we like it or not. I don't know. But any other thoughts on that question, Ricky or Nick?
Yeah, I just wanted to add, a lot of the better relievers in baseball are failed starters, quote unquote. Andrew Chafin, he played for the A's, played for I think Detroit a couple of years ago. He would wear a shirt coming into the game, like into the ballpark with shirts that failed starter. We're kind of seeing that a little bit with some guys that we had coming up a couple of years ago, like Leon Richardson, Connor Phillips, for example. Being a failed starter is not a bad thing as long as you can be a serviceable reliever as well. And Phillips has a ways to go. Richardson's proving himself this season for the most part. So, yeah, I mean, Like relievers, generally, you want them to be starters starting out in their career, realistically.
Yeah. Andrew Abbott was a reliever in college. The opposite. It's kind of funny how that worked out. All right, MF from Hamilton, appreciate you. We're going to go to Mike D. Mike D, what's going on?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Living the dream, brother.
What's up, Mike?
Hey man. Hey, I'm in my mid 50s, and I grew up in Southern Ohio. Listened to Reds games on the back porch, with my grandpa and dad, and it just was a family affair. And there's not much better, that I can remember as a kid than just hearing that phrase. And this one belongs to the Reds. And so, all growing up, ATO BTTR was a battle cry, and even today, we end social media posts with that as a hashtag. Or I know that on the bumper that you guys use between the ends of games and the time you do your show, you do the calls of Marty and Joe and the other announcers, and just whenever I hear that phrase, I just get excited. It's such a part of Reds fandom. And the reason I'm calling in about that is I have this fear that every year that goes by, another kid or another age group becomes sort of detached from that. And I know that kind of died away when Marty retired. And so I guess my question is, has anybody ever thought about making a push to bring that back? And whether it's Marty giving his blessing or the Reds, making it more of a corporate battle cry instead of just something that belongs to one announcer. I don't know how we get around that, but I just feel like that should be part of it again in some form or fashion. And whether it's Marty getting over himself or whether it's the new announcers getting over the ego of using somebody else's catchphrase, but I would just love to have that come back to actual, and where you could actually hear it during games. Because right now, kids don't even know what it is. You use the phrase and they're like, "What are you saying? What is that?" I don't know. I just wonder what your thoughts were on that.
I don't know. I mean, that's a good question. In regards to who cares about what, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about saying this, and maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I would suspect Marty wouldn't care. I would probably think more along the lines that if you're another announcer, you just feel like that's not really your area that you would go into. It's not your phrase. You didn't make it up. It belongs to somebody else. You don't
Yeah,
want to step on their toes. I don't mean to be, you know, deep here, but I mean, there's always, you've seen it with Pete Rose. Things change when people pass away. I at some point, if that becomes kind of a legacy thing that's passed down, that's possibly when it would happen. But I got to be honest, I don't see that happening while the successor is still there. Tommy
yeah,
Thrall took his position. I don't see Tommy Thrall using it. Maybe, I wouldn't. I'm not saying it's impossible. Maybe the guy after Tommy, if he ever leaves, would use it again. But it's just hard because you're too close to it in a way, if that makes
yeah,
sense. Like it hasn't. It's almost like fashion. It hasn't made its way all the way around the timetable yet for it to come back and be back in fashion per se. So
yeah,
um, it's not going to go away. I always joke, and I mean this sincerely. I hope my kids find something that they grow up loving, which is winning baseball. All of these things that we latch onto, that the older generation, if you want to call it that, latches onto, is really winning baseball. And that's how I view it. It's winning baseball. The Big Red Machine bobblehead stuff and the Big Red Machine cups and the Big Red Machine this and that, like, it's because they were a great baseball team. That's why people cared about them. I know that we can sit here and act like we love Johnny's personality and the way Pete Rose played. They won baseball games, man. That's why people like them. It's that simple. I hope my kids find a way to love a group of players or an announcer or a manager because they brought joy to their life. I'm not saying that phrase isn't great, but I know this. If Marty didn't call games for winning baseball teams and this one belongs to the Reds, it's probably not that big of a deal. But I could be wrong.
That's a good point, Trace. I also, just real quick, would say, as many people as you, Mike, that would love that, I think there'd be as many people that would be angry about that. There would be people that would be mad at Tommy Thrall for saying that. Like, how dare you say that? And I could just see it now, the tweets using Marty's thing, you know what I mean? So, like,
Yeah.
I think there'd be people that would be upset with it on the other side as well. So, like, if I'm Tommy Thrall, that's probably something I'm just saying. I don't want to get, that was the last guy's thing. I want to be my own guy. It'd have to be something that, like, Marty went out of his way completely to say, I want this done, for Tommy to even entertain it.
Yeah. It would certainly take some sort of concerted effort, and we'd have to get past the concept, the plagiaristic notion that he's stealing it from somebody. That's why I said I almost feel like at this point in Reds history, that phrase has become part of Reds fandom and not necessarily part of a repertoire of an individual announcer. And I know it is, right? And so it would have to take some sort of, like, summit meeting or meeting of the minds for it to become something like that. But I guess what I would just say is this, is that if you look across Reds fandom, we don't have anything like that, right? Like, we don't have the, I went to Fenway Park one time to watch the Yankees Red Sox, and it was Yankees suck, Yankees suck. I mean, it was like, it was a thing. And now, you go watch the Yankees and it's like, let's go Yankees. And, what do the Reds have? We've got boo. And that's all you heard when the Yankee fans this past week were chanting, let's go Yankees in our stadium.
Right.
We couldn't even be collective enough to say, let's go Reds. We had to just go boo. Like, how dare you do a cheer in our stadium? And, like, we don't have anything. Like, we don't have an OHIO, we don't have a win-win for the Gipper. We don't have anything like that. And to have, to start putting those things together, like I think I heard a while back where they were talking about, they were talking about doing the wave inside a stadium. And I'm not a big wave fan. I feel like it's cheesy and it's like, it doesn't really cheer on your team. It's more of just like being goofy or something. I don't know. But they were saying that, like, they were talking about, the Reds players were talking about how they went to this stadium or that stadium. Man, they had their chance down. They were chanting. Those were awesome chants in that game. And I think if we had some sort of collective Reds fandom, like something we all did, it would just, I don't know, it would just be cool. I don't know. We've got nothing.
I get it. I would just say this is a blue collar city. You roll your sleeves up, you go to work, you work overtime if you're asked to work overtime. A lot of people that live around here grew up in, basically having to go to work and put food on your table. I got news for you. If you don't go to the postseason for 20 whatever years it is, can't win a postseason series, ain't worth a damn for this long, you ain't gonna get people fired up. We ain't doing chants. We need people. What's gonna have to happen is we have to win some very meaningful games for this fan base to get to a point where I think you're going to have some consistency. I look at my best example is the Cardinals. I know people are going to make excuses as to why they're not, fans aren't there, this and that and the other. It took a couple years for them not to be going to the deep into the postseason or making a World Series thing, and their stadium is empty. It's empty. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that they're terrible fans. I'm not trying to say that, but it's a far cry. Like, being a Red Sox fan or a Yankees fan, they've seen a lot of success, and they've also had the opportunity to have sold out crowds for those things to happen. It only takes one. I know it sounds crazy. It only takes 1 year for one team to start to have some semblance of a rally cry, and the whole stadium will be doing it. It just, we haven't had success. I know that sounds simple, but that's the truth.
Yeah.
So, I not to downplay it all, but trust me, if I was a Reds fan and the biggest worry that we had was, what chance we were going to do and whether or not we have something to pass on to our kids, I would be thrilled. But I'm a little more worried that we've not had a good baseball team for as long as we have.
Maybe so, and I'm certainly not going to downplay the concept that the better the team is, the more excited the fan base is. But, and I'm an Ohio State fan. I went to Ohio State, and I've sat in Ohio Stadium enough to know that we only cheer when the Buckeyes do something great. We wait for them to do something and then we cheer. We don't cheer to make them do something. And it's kind of the same way with the Reds. Although I will say this, and this is my only argument to that, is how excited did people get early in the season over a silly counting down of the pitch clock? I mean, people were like, "Did you hear that, man? We were counting down the pitch clock. We had their pitcher on war," and it was cool for a minute. But it was like, man, even that little simple act of doing that drew people together and got people fired up about it. And if we had some sort of like, I don't know if somebody came out, if one of the players came out and said, "Man, we love it when you guys chant for us or say our name," or you watch the Padres games from a few years ago, and it was like, "Hey, hi Sung Kim, hi Sung Kim," and it was like, I don't know, I mean, it was cool.
Yeah.
I don't. Maybe I'm
We
just
just
being
need more
cheesy
fans
about
at the
it,
ballpark, man. We need more fans at the ballpark.
Yeah.
And I hate to say that, but if you look at San Diego Stadium when they're doing that, there's 40,000 people there. It's just hard to do that when you have 12. And I'm not. It is what it is. Like, I'll just say this: Reds win. You will not see a ballpark more loud and excited as you will if they get close down to the wire to make a postseason run. So, that's what we need. Anyway,
I'm with you. No,
all right,
I'm
Nick,
100% with you.
All right, Mike, appreciate the call. We got a couple more, so I want to kind of make sure we give everyone a
Thanks,
chance
guys.
here. People have been waiting. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks,
appreciate you. All right, we got Evan. Is this Putrid Talent?
It is. It is. Finally. You guys know my name now. It's no secret. This is my little one, Wyatt. He watches your guys' show a bit. The home run hitter. He's coming. He wants to say hi. We're a big fan of your guys' show, obviously. So he got to watch.
I love it.
When I super chatted you guys and shouted out his home run. You guys, said nice things. He got to watch that. He was tickled pink by it. So
Do both of you guys play baseball? What positions do you play?
Catcher, pitcher, shortstop, second base, mostly catcher.
Nice.
Yeah. Tyler Stevenson aspirations, right? Or better?
Austin wins. Austin
wins. Trace, you cracked me up with that stuff. I can't.
What about Trevino? What about
Trevino's great. He's got like an 800 OPS in his July.
Right.
So keep tabs on that. Nick Kirby's got that thing sliding down by the day.
Those May splits, I was like, all right, I'm right here. And then boy, once June hit, he kicked it back into high gear. So it's July now. We'll see.
Yeah. And this one's just getting out of coach pitch, so he doesn't know positions yet. So
okay,
that's all right.
Yep.
There you go. You got that. You got the. Is it older brother, younger brother, twin brothers? Look like they're the same age almost.
Older. 2 years older. So he's 9.
All
he's
right.
7.
Okay.
There you go.
My birthday was just yesterday.
Yep. Your birthday was yesterday.
Happy birthday, dude,
man.
Thanks.
It's big time.
Well, enjoy it.
Have you been? What's your favorite? What's your favorite Reds player?
My favorite what?
Reds player.
Reds player.
Ellie.
Just man. Ellie.
That's right. That's all you need to know, Ellie.
Who's your favorite baseball players?
Probably Austin Wins. You got
nope.
That's right. That's my kind of guy. That's my kind of guy.
Ellie Daily
Ellie Daily Cruz.
All right.
You've seen all 6. He's seen all 6 of those hits.
Yeah. So you guys, speaking of kids nowadays, really going around and starting to wear the jerseys. Show them your number.
There you go.
And he had to be the first one on his team to do it. There's 3 different kids on the team, all the way up. We live in Northwest Ohio, so we're in the Toledo area.
So I have his same exact number, but the same number and plus that 88.
Yep. Wyatt couldn't do 44. Wyatt couldn't do 44, so he decided to double it.
You guys wear gold? You guys wear chains and stuff?
Where's your necklace? Where's your beads at? He's got the whole Noelvi Marte beads.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, nice.
Like just hit a grand slam too.
Yeah, did he?
Yeah.
Nice.
Does he look like a banana? Does he look like a banana? Does he look like a banana when he's playing third base like Noelvi too? Or no?
Yeah, no. He got his beads in the team colors, so got kind of lucky there that his team color isn't gold.
Yeah, nice.
Nope.
But yeah, I'm hoping Marte comes back strong.
I have that same necklace, that same exact one, but he has two. He has a black and white one.
Yep.
Love
Nice.
that.
All
Love
right.
that. Well, you keep playing ball and enjoying yourself.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate you. Keep doing what
Thank
you're doing. We watch you every night.
Thank you. That means a lot. We
All right.
appreciate you guys.
True kid
Thank
show.
you, Putrin.
Bye.
Bye,
That is a
guys.
kid show.
Bye, guys.
See ya. Kid show.
All right. We got Dunny 17 joining the program.
What's up, guys?
Dunny,
This
what's
is
up?
an Austin Wins kind of guy too. I know this name.
This is me. Yes, I love Austin Wins. He's my favorite player. He's my guy. All because of you, Trace.
Do
That's
you
right.
stay up and watch the Sacramento A's every night now?
Yeah, I mean, I have this thing called Uzu. It's $120 for a year. I usually watch. I keep an eye on him. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How'd he do last night?
I think he
This
hit a
is-
double. I heard someone in chat say that. I don't even think he played. The last time he played, though, he hit a double. So that's all
That's
I know.
right. That's how it
Get-
usually goes with him. He never plays, but when he does play, he hits home runs and doubles. It's a weird thing.
Just
I don't
getting screwed
understand.
up
The Reds
with
should have just kept him. I don't get it. It's ridiculous.
Let's not go that far, Dunny. Let's not get down the too dark here. We'll have Nick giving us a sermon exactly why not, because he's going to be hitting a buck 10. You're going to
Dunny,
get a full sermon on him.
You got any hard hitting questions for us?
I guess I got one. Why do the
Okay.
Reds? It's so weird to me. Why do they always struggle against divisional opponents, but then like they do amazing against the Yankees and everything like that? Like, is it just like mental? Like, I don't get it. It's
That's
so
a
weird.
great point. What a great question.
I think a lot of it is just scouting reports and them just kind of being more familiar, playing them, like 9 different times a season as opposed to once a year.
It's fair. I think the Brewers also own us, so
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
They got the voodoo doll in their clubhouse, and they just poke a pin in it every time they see us on the schedule.
Dunny, have you ever played like golf or putt-putt or anything like that, or maybe even you ever played that?
I like mini golf. Yeah, my dad's the golf coach at my
Right.
high school, but I don't
Well,
play golf.
imagine this, Dunny. Let's just say there's this clown mouth hole that you got to hit the ball right in the middle of the clown mouth, and every time you get to there, you lose your entire round on that hole, and your family wins every single time because of that clown mouth. That is the Brewers to the Reds. We walk into Milwaukee or they walk into the Red Stadium, and they have that little glove with the baseball in the middle of it and the big M, and the Reds'
Yeah.
brains shut down and we can't find a way to win. So I think some of that's mental. There's no way that we should lose to the Brewers as many times as we have unless it's something in between the years. As far as everybody else, I think for a while they were better than us. Now I don't think so. But I think it's a good question. I don't know.
I think the Brewers cheat.
Heard it here first.
Feels that way.
I've watched too many Brewers, and I've looked at that roster too many times. And like, if there was a team in baseball that did the next version of the trash can, it's the Milwaukee Brewers.
What do you think about that, Dunny?
I think that's a lot of bull right there. But I think
Good
honestly,
show.
I think we're just owned. I think we're just owned. Honestly,
Okay.
it sucks because
Yeah.
it's frustrating because we've always
this
had. I feel like we've had
perspective.
the better roster for like 2 years now. So
Feels like that, but I don't think that we do. That's the thing.
I feel like
I feel like-
the Brewers are like that red light when you're on your way to work and you're going to be late, and it turns red, and you're like, ugh.
Fair.
if the Reds and Brewers switched rosters, they would still beat us. If we had like all of the Brewers players, we'd still lose.
Yeah, because
It's
they're
just how it is.
cheating.
No, it's just mental. It's ridiculous.
I agree, Dunny. There's no doubt about it. Any other questions you can think of?
I super chatted about this yesterday, but Reese Hines, I still believe in him big time. I really think he's just been super unlucky. Like that catch by what was the Padre, Gavin Sheets in left field.
Yeah.
That was robbed. He had like 100 off the bat or something like that. And then yesterday that ground ball he nearly beat out, and that was an out. And I just feel like he's got that power. Even though he strikes out like CES, he puts together better at bats. I'm still a true believer in him. I really am.
Well, he's also, I mean, he's gotten screwed really on who he's like played against. I mean, he's like gone up against Max Fried and Garrett Crochet. I mean, he's had to go up against like some of the best lefties in the planet in his like small sample that he's got to play. So he's not gotten a fair shake at all. And I put out this on Twitter today. I think that there's been a lot of people say, well, he doesn't hit lefties. Why do they keep playing him? I think that's a fluky thing. He every single year in the minor leagues, he get better against lefties. I just think it's one of these small samples that's got to work itself out. You give him some at bats against some crappy lefties, I think you'd have some better numbers. But yeah, I'm not giving up on him either. I'm with you, Dunny. All right, appreciate the call, Trace.
Dunny.
You're really gonna like the next one here. Nope, sorry, Dunny cut you off.
Even another one. What a show! What a show!
Is he at Fenway?
He's in Fenway.
Yeah, I mean, I love all the Austin wins talk here, but yeah, it's the question I had was after last night's game. Like, I knew Fenway was quirky, but like after the inside the park home run out in the triangle, and I was sitting kind of like just at the base of the monster. There's a big ladder on the wall. Like, what is your favorite or least favorite like aspect of the park that's in the field of play? Like, the Astros used to have the field in center field, but yeah, what's yours?
At Great American Ballpark or just in general?
Just in general, all of baseball.
Oh, you know what? I liked that Astros center field. I thought that was awesome. I hated that they got rid of that.
I remember years ago.
I'm trying to think of quirky things.
Petco used to. Was it Petco or no? The old San Diego Stadium had that weird corner in the right field foul territory. People could drop foul balls and the umpire would never see it. I don't know if you guys remember that or not.
I personally like the I don't know. It's a tough one. I think Fenway is the best dimension park in Major League Baseball because it's just so ridiculous. Right field line is like what, 278 or something absurd, and then it just jets straight back. Here's what I'll tell you what. I think Jim Day made a post yesterday coming up the steps saying like this place has a lot of history. I know that sounds crazy. I like Great American Ballpark. I really wish they would have gone all in on like a nice high-end remodel of Crosley Field. I'm sure there's a reason as to why they didn't do it, but I just think it would have been awesome if they kind of tried to make it look almost exactly like that, because I don't know if you remember, but Crosley kind of had that same type of idea for the warning track, which was like a little incline all the way up into the fence. There was no track. They had the huge high wall, the big clock. Like, if the Red, and I know there's reasons, I'm not saying that they made a huge mistake or nothing. If the Reds still had Crosley Field, I almost wonder how many more people would be Reds fans, because it's just like the oldest team, national like brand. You got the old school ballpark with, you know, the historic stuff attached to it. One of the greatest teams ever that played with them. Instead, you went from that to Riverfront Stadium, and I know people are gonna get pissed at me for saying that because they love that Riverfront Stadium, but it's just like that's just a terrible downgrade, man.
Have you got down by the Reds bullpen? Have you got to see like how close you can get down there?
Oh, you can get like you can hang over the edge and like touch somebody if you want.
That's
to.
Awesome. I thought
like,
that was cool.
I don't know if you can see it down there, but
yeah.
Also, a little insider information: the Reds are like the entire team still just hanging out in the dugout. Like, they're just talking, goofing around. Like, everyone, like the whole Red Sox team, they're back in the clubhouse. I don't know if it's just the clubhouse here for the visitor team is just not very nice or what, but they're just hanging out in the dugout like the whole past hour.
Francona's not going to let him get any of that chicken and beer. He knows.
Hey, what are they saying about the rain down there? What are they saying about the rain?
Yeah, we got a super chat for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's still coming down pretty hard. It stopped for like a little bit, but there's some like really, really like scary lightning around the area. That's just, you hear it and just everyone goes, ooh. Nice. And they're doing the wave here, and I don't know, but it's starting to thin out quite a bit. So there's no information they've given anyone here, but people are starting to leave.
Now,
go ahead.
I know why they traded Devers now. So that they do the wave at Fenway?
They're doing it at the rain delay. Yeah.
What a very unserious fan base.
Yeah, I know.
Is that your first time at Fenway?
I actually live in Boston now, so I grew up in Cincinnati and moved out to Seattle. I moved here a couple years ago. So, yeah, I grew up in Cincinnati though. So there's so many
Sick.
Reds fans here. I was really surprised. It's like the whole left field line is like probably 25% Reds fans.
That's what I went in 2022. I was blown away how many. And 2022 was obviously not a very good year either, and it was crazy how many Reds fans were there. I couldn't believe it,
especially for a weeknight game. But yeah.
I think everyone kind of makes that their trip because it's just such an incredible ballpark. Have you done the tour of the stadium?
No, I'm gonna do that in a couple weeks.
You got to do it.
I've been to a few games here, but never like behind the scenes or anything. So
hopefully the old dude's still doing it, man. He was electric, absolutely electric. All right. Well, any other questions for us?
No, that's all I got.
All right, appreciate you calling in, Trace. We got a treat. See you later. Optimistic John is on the program.
Nice, John. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna have to jump off here real quick. But if you need me, you got me for like 1 minute. Maybe.
Johnny there? John, can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Hey, what's going on, man?
Just blame it on the rain, man.
Blaming it on the rain. Trace has got to jump off. Do you have any questions specifically for our fearless leader, Trace Fowler?
Sounds like a no.
Yeah, why is Hayes not playing left field?
Because he's hurt.
Yeah, I mean, Gavin Lux not getting that ball doesn't look very good when Hayes is your DH. Yeah, I think they want him to stay on the field more than anything else.
Yeah, I think they're scared that he's going to get hurt. It's as simple as that, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
How did this?
Anyone hear that?
No, I think John's got an underwater.
I think both these guys have it, Ricky.
Yeah.
Underwater right now. All right, Trace has got. Say that again, John.
Spots on here. But that's okay. I just wanted to find out. Somebody send me an Espinal shirt because I'm trying to.
We'll have to send you the whole Espinal care package. We got to get some game used equipment. We need the glove, we need the hat, we need the batting gloves. John needs the whole shebang. Oh,
yeah.
Who's John?
Oh.
I want all of it because my Espinal it's for every game when he's not in.
All right, not sure what was going on with John there. Oh, do we have
we got Steve-O in the chat saying game suspended. We go to Twitter real quick.
Yeah, it has been suspended, resuming 2:30 on Wednesday with the regularly scheduled game for 7:10.
I feel good about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's another day of a fresh bullpen. I guess, Ricky, we can spend a second here.
Yeah.
And I guess kind of talk through tomorrow. I'm not going to do like a full show or anything tonight for 3 innings of baseball. We'll talk about it tomorrow. So I don't understand what is Major League Baseball rules, because I thought the game got completely banged. If I literally looked this up during the rain delay because I wanted to make sure, and it said that if a game had not reached 5 innings, that the game never happened. Now they're suspending it. Like, does it feel like they've changed the rules on this so much lately?
I feel like they kind of just pick and choose what they do, and there's no just consistency in their ruling. But yeah, I had thought the same thing too, because it has to reach so many innings to be a game, and then it has to be so many innings to be called a game. Like what's it, 5 1/3 or 4 1/3, and then like the home team has to have a chance to bat or something, and then you can call it an official game. But we're nowhere near that.
Yeah, the fifth inning's basically the ninth inning.
Yeah.
How you think of it, but yeah. So the Reds will have Hayes, Lux, and Steer up for the suspended game. You're gonna have, a bullpen. I assume they'll be able to call someone up. So the Red Sox, I don't know, they may call someone up from AAA. That may be the first guy they go. They have a bullpen that ranks pretty well and has obviously had a few days off. They have a lot of guys. I mean, like Chapman for them's only pitched once in the last week. Whitlock's only pitched once in the last week. A guy that's pitched very well for them, Greg, I think you say his name, Wiesert. He's been one of their better pitchers. Big break for them as he had pitched back-to-back days and threw some pitches. So he gets a day off. They also have Justin Wilson down in that bullpen. So, yeah, I mean, I would assume probably both teams will try to bullpen game the rest. They'll probably call up someone that can give them some length if they need to go to it. But I assume in a 2-1 game, you're probably going to see both teams try to get some. I don't understand why this isn't banged. I don't understand that at all. I need someone to explain that to me, because I don't think like the baseball rules actually show that. Go ahead.
I was saying, do you think there's a chance they maybe roll with Martinez?
With Martinez is scheduled to pitch on tomorrow. He's scheduled to pitch the second game. I would think you're going to try to have him in the second game. The Reds are. We also remember the Reds are losing. Yeah. So,
because he would be best available option, I would think. But you also want the guy in the second game, obviously. But if they could sneak it out somehow and get like the win in the first half of the doubleheader, then you can kind of, I don't want to call it a wash, but you're not worried about being swept in a way.
Yeah, if they were tied, it's a different story. But you have to remember they're losing. So their win probability right now is below 30%. So that's kind of how I think you have to approach the game. Now, they can go score 2 runs in the top of the fourth, and then their win probability is 60%.
Right.
So it could certainly change. But it'll be interesting. I mean, the Reds do not have any of their best arms at AAA available. We went through this earlier. Me and Ricky were kind of talking through some scenarios. Chase Petty pitched tonight. Brian Van Pell pitched on Sunday. Aaron Wilkerson, he pitched. He would be on 3 days rest. Those are the top 3 arms at AAA. So you're looking at Randy Wynn or Drew Parrish are probably the guys that get called up unless the Reds go like Luis May or Yasver Zulueta. I mean, those are probably, unless they just went for a straight reliever. But I would have to think they probably, want to get someone with a little bit of length. So I don't understand why this game is suspended and not canceled. That pisses me off. I wish baseball would have a clear, I encourage you, for those who don't believe me, go to MLB's official rainout page and what it says, and tell me how this game should be suspended based on what it says on there, because it makes absolutely no sense.
I'm kind of looking. What about Adam Plutko? He would have to be added to the 40-man, but he pitched on the 27th.
Well, their 40-man is full. They actually became full today with Ben Scooter being added. So they would have to dump someone off of the 40-man. Plutko's not even listed as a starter for AAA. Yeah, I mean, he would be a possibility, but I guess neither is Randy Wynn or Drew Parrish. So I don't know. Is there anyone on there, Ricky, that you think is expendable from the 40-man?
Ah, man, that's tough.
There's
Not anybody off the top of my head that I would want to risk.
Yeah, I mean, well, you know what? Wade Miley could be transferred to the 60-day.
Yeah, you're right. He could be.
That's one option there. Yasver Zulueta could be bumped off, but I don't think they're certainly going to want to be cutting anyone.
Blake Dunn?
Yeah, I think they still want. I don't think they're going to give up on Blake Dunn that quick. Yeah, I mean, there's that's about it. So, yeah, Wade Miley to the 60 man is probably the only way you're going to be able to get something else. Big Z, if you want to call in, go ahead. The link is pinned. You can be our last caller of the night. Just going to kind of, I guess, talk through a little bit of strategy for tomorrow, and then me and Trace, we won't do a post game show after the suspended game. We'll do a post game show after the 7:00 game, and wrap that up. Yeah, we'll give Big Z a minute if Big Z wants to call in. I don't know, Ricky. Any final thoughts?
I was just thinking, is Scott Hatterberg a good player?
Scott
Hatterberg that always cracks me up whenever I hear that on the intro. It's
like Scott Hatterberg, a good player.
It's funny. I guess 40-man wise, I mean, it'd be kind of a waste, but Vlade but then you just wasted claiming him on waivers and whatever you did to get him.
And you'd have to call up someone else to replace his position player spot.
Yeah, that's right.
And I mean, so you'd have to. I guess you could call up Blake. I just don't think they're going to do that for one game of a doubleheader. I mean you know what I mean. So yeah, unless they can put Wade Miley in the 60-day, I don't think that they'll make a move. So you're looking at well, you know what they could is they technically could. And Joe LaSorsa, he got sent down to AAA, but he is still on the 40-man, so they could kick him off the 40-man. He would maybe be an option, but I'm thinking Luis May, Yasver Zulueta. Yeah, I mean, Yasver Zulueta is probably the guy that gets the call tomorrow. The more I look at this,
yeah, it just sucks with the timing because all of the AAA pitchers that could pitch all pitched yesterday or the day before.
Yeah, Brian Van Bell would be. I mean, if he was available, that would be no question the guy you go. He's already on the 40-man. He also was from the Red Sox organization, so that would be a pretty fun way for him. Zulueta's not pitching well, but he's a guy that can give you some innings. So Zulueta, I think he pitched last on the 29th. So they didn't play obviously yesterday. So as long as he doesn't come in to the game that they're playing right now, I mean, he'll have 2 days of rest. I would. That's my guess is he's the guy you see tomorrow. All right, we'll go to Big Z and we're gonna wrap this up. And we'll see you tomorrow after that. Big Z, what's going on, my friend?
Hey, what's up, boys? Can you hear me?
Hear you great.
Awesome. Had a few questions for you.
All right.
Number one, love the show, obviously. Who is your guys' mid-season kind of, breakout player that you're happy with? Who you think has contributed with, the most of the team right now?
Like on the Reds, that's kind of been my biggest surprise.
Not biggest surprise, Steer started off slow, now he's coming in hot. Ellie does Ellie things. I just kind of a guy that you're pretty happy with the way the season's going so far.
I mean, the easy answer is Andrew Abbott. I mean, I did not see him being anywhere close to this good. So he's been by far, I think, the most impressive. I mean, and then Trevino's the other one. I did not see Trevino being this big of a contributor offensively still into July. What do you think, Ricky?
Yeah, Abbott for sure. I mean, we still have to worry about the back half of the season just because historically with him. But yeah, Trevino definitely. And really kind of like low-key, I guess, Gavin Lux in a way. Yeah, he hasn't been like this breakout player, but he's been consistent offensively. He's really been good at like working the count and getting on base. And I guess if I had to name another pitcher, just Brady Singer, just pitching every fifth day. He had that one really bad outing against Houston, but he's been reliable every fifth day, and he's just getting the job done.
And a thing with Lux is I feel like even though like Lux isn't great lefty on lefty, as Nick says, he loves the lefty on lefty. You can't go lefty on lefty. I feel like Lux is surprised me a lot he's such a big league hitter. Like he's gonna work counts. I know the lefty on lefty sucks, but I mean he has a chance to walk, get big hits. I didn't even think about that now that I'm asking, but what are your thoughts on that? Like just keeping him in lefty on lefty. I know this, it may not be good, but at least he can work some counts.
I mean, the guy's never hit lefties in his entire career.
I'm just going off what I see. Like I know you don't like it. I'm just going off what I see. I think he's a bit as Trace or you guys say he's a big league hitter.
The only situations where it makes sense to not pinch it for him is if there's going to be spots later in the game where he's going to face a right-handed batter. Like I'm not pulling Gavin Lux in the fifth inning of a game because he's one of the Reds' best hitters against right-handed pitching. But that's the reason I would is because of that. I mean,
do you think he's sorry to interrupt you? Do you think he's an everyday player?
No,
on the Reds team.
I don't think he's an everyday player on any baseball team that's trying to win. I mean, I think he's a platoon player. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think like platoon players get this negative notion. I mean, like Jock Peterson has been an elite player as a platoon bat for years, and he just doesn't hit lefties, and that's fine. I mean, honestly, I think there's too many players in baseball that should be platoon players that aren't. I mean, I think there's too many guys that just get way more opportunities than they should. So yeah, you'll never convince me on that. I
agree. I had to ask because I do like his ABs. Like he does have some good ABs.
Yeah. So I have some funny splits if you want to hear them. So Santiago Espinal is a better hitter against right-handed pitching than Lux is against left-handed pitching.
That makes me sad.
I'm
not a Lux stan. It is reality. Yeah, I'm not a Lux stan. I get it.
I'm a Lux stan. I love Gavin Lux.
I just feel like he comes up big. Like
Lux is batting 175 against lefties, and Espinal is batting 216 versus righties.
Yeah,
and that's their. What is that? Is that the career?
That's the season.
Okay. Yeah. I had to ask.
No, it's a fair question. Well, what else you got, Big Z?
Yeah. So if the Reds were to do something, because it was always when the season started, it was the pitching was awesome and the offense sucked, and then now it's kind of flipped. Not flipped, but the pitching's kind of gassing out, and then the offense is kind of picking up. So like, if we were to make a move, would you rather have them like? Do you think we need bullpen pitching? I just kind of wondering what you guys think. If the Reds were to make a move, what you guys think the move should be? Like bullpen arms, or you get a bat?
All right, I think you ideally would want multiple pieces, but let's just, for the sake of argument here, say, Nick, you can only get one player. Who would it be? It'd probably be a guy that could give you multiple innings in the bullpen. If it's only one player. Ideally for me, I'd love to go get a really good lefty, maybe a middle-of-the-road right-handed pitcher, and Eugenio Suarez. Like that, to me, is my kind of dream deadline that I think is realistic. They're not going to go out and get Ryan O'Hearn. I mean, people can dream about that all they want. It's not going to happen, and nor do I really think it's necessary because he just would be another left-handed bat. If they get a bat, they need a right-handed bat, and they need someone that can mash lefties. So I think Suarez would be the perfect fit. But there's other guys. Rob Refsnyder would fit that mold as well. There's plenty of other players. Randall Grichuk would be one that comes to mind that could kind of fit that mold. But they need a lefty that can strike guys out that they know they can count on because there's just no excuse. There's no excuse for not having a left-handed pitcher to face Gavin Sheets on Saturday, a guy that has not hit lefties in his entire career, and allow him to hit a three-run home run against you and cost you that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you, Nick. I was listening to you and Mike on your kind of like trade deadline proposal show you guys did, and Mike kind of got me in the loop on wanting to get Jake Bird from Colorado. It's probably going to take a little bit to get him, just because he's got, I think, 2 more years of team control, but his numbers, especially pitching in Colorado, they're great, man. He has a ERA in Colorado of 144 this season. So yeah, he's a reliever, but a 144 ERA, like you can't have a blow up game, and he hasn't had one. And he's got reverse splits. He's a right-handed pitcher, but he's got really good splits against lefties and righties. So he'd be a good option, I would think. And I would love to get Suarez back, but his splits this year are actually not that great against lefties. He's hitting right-handed pitching better than lefties.
Fool's gold. That re-signs fool's gold. Don't ever look at 1 year splits for players, because they're fluky and they'll all come back around.
Hey, but him coming back to GABP, I mean, that could be what he needs too for this season.
I believe I'd almost rather have a guy that the splits are not good this year, because I know it's going to come back around. What I'll say, my last point on this is the Reds are going to add, if they're still in the race, they're going to add a reliever, maybe 2 at the deadline. But 99% likely is going to be someone none of us mentioned. Because the one thing Nick Krall has done has been require relievers at the deadline. Archie Bradley in 2020. They required 3 guys in 2021. Givens, Sessa, and Wilson, and then Sam Moll in 2023. I don't think I remember a single person ever mentioning any of those guys' names on any of these types of shows. But those were all good pickups that helped the team. So they'll be that, but it's going to probably be the names that we don't think of, because Nick Krall is going to be the guy that's going to find the best value. He's not going to go out and probably get the Jake Bird that everyone's coveting. He's going to go try to find the guy that's maybe undervalued. And they've done a good job with that. Now, should they have done more at the trade deadline? Yeah, I think you can argue that. But the relievers in particular they've got, for what they've given up, overall, I think has been very successful.
And I think that's like another good point to bring up, because like, do we want to go all in and spend a bunch of money at the deadline when we're, how many games back of the wild card and obviously of the Central? So I don't know. It's just tough, because you don't want to go all in on a guy and spend a bunch of money, but at the same time, then we all get pissed if they don't pick up who we want. So it's like a lose-lose almost. Nobody's going to be happy either way. You pick up somebody that nobody knows and people get pissed, or you go spend a bunch of money and you don't make, the playoffs either way. So I agree with you on all those points. It's a tough situation, I think, for them to be in, honestly. But maybe
hopefully they can go on a big run going up to the deadline, so it's very clear, which direction you go into. So they're not kind of stuck in this purgatory like I would like to think of it as.
Right. Well, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for what you do. And also, I just want to throw this out there before I get off. I love when Trey says the ball yard. I don't know what it is.
Therapeutic.
Get to the ball yard. It ain't it's the ball yard. I tell my wife, we're going to the ball yard.
All right.
So,
we'll put it on a t-shirt. We'll put it on a t-shirt.
I mean, you guys should make t-shirts of something of that sort. I think everybody in the chat that we all know would honestly buy it up pretty quick. It might honestly be a good little, might be something for you guys to do. So I would 100% buy it.
I'll work on getting you a commission for that, Big Z.
All right. Thank you.
All right, man. Take care. Appreciate you calling in.
All right, guys. Thank you for taking my call. See ya.
See you.
All right, good call from Big Z. We got a super chat. Michael Rolfe just jumping in. What in the HE double hockey sticks is this game coming back on? Do we know? Is it time for a banana call? I mean, Rolfe, you're welcome to call in. I'm about to wrap this up, but you're welcome to call in. I'm assuming, Rolfe, you probably know by now that the game has been suspended, which I still don't understand why that rule is. I would love for someone to clarify that. But yeah, I think we kind of went through everything there, Ricky, about tomorrow. Man, I hope the Reds can put up a run in the fourth. and make the decisions easier. Because honestly, I'll say this for like Francona, it's a tough spot to be in as a manager when you're losing, but you're only down a run and
It's
you
super
have
early.
a second game still to play for, because like you don't want to give that game away, but you also don't want to burn relievers and your offense just never comes back,
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's Hayes, Lux, and Steer. I mean that's a big inning for them. Obviously, I would assume the Red Sox, whoever they pitch, whether it's a bulk guy or whatever, it's going to be one of the right-handed pitchers with where they're at in the lineup. And then Trevino's fourth, Benson's due a fifth. So I'm sure they're going to bring in a right-handed pitcher. I mean, if I was the Red Sox, I would bring in one of my best right-handed pitchers. I would just go ahead and, because that's a big inning for you too. I mean, you kind of want to make sure you put up a 0 in that inning, because it just sets everything else up for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I mean, you want your best guys out there, but we don't really have our best guys available. So hopefully, like you said, we can get some runs on the board and get into the second game and not worry about either A, being swept, or B, having Martinez in game 3 to avoid being swept.
Yeah. The Red Sox, they will have the bottom of the order. Trevor Story, their 6-hole hitter, will be due up in the bottom of the 4th when that comes along. Any scores to go through here, Ricky? Anything of value here? Looks like Arizona's just getting underway. There's a lot of games postponed. The Padres were postponed. The Brewers were postponed. Cardinals lost to the Pirates. Back-to-back losses for the Cardinals to the Pirates. Man, that team was as hot as they get, and they've lost back-to-back games to the Pirates. So how about that? That's certainly pretty wild.
Man, we could talk a little Reds MILB if you want.
Yeah, go ahead. Ricky, this was we went in delay. I had just gotten my daughter to bed, so I haven't even really looked at Reds MILB. But Ricky, if you got some stuff, I know Noelvi Marte hit a grand slam. I think I also saw that he walked. Anything else good on the farm, Ricky?
We have, well, it's not great. Daytona lost to St. Lucie. The DSL Rojos lost to DSL Pittsburgh Pirates. DSL Reds lost to the DSL Padres Blue.
They got swept.
Yeah.
But Adolfo Sanchez had a good day. I actually did have that in the notes.
Yeah. I mean, he's looking great. Do you see Daytona in his near future?
I don't know, man. Trying to figure out what gets a player promoted from the DSL to Daytona, or from the ACL to Daytona. It's so hard. Like there's been no rhyme or reason.
Right.
It feels like there's no like when a player's in Daytona, you say, all right, if he's played there a year, or if he's played there 4 months and he's played really well, it's a natural progression. These guys, it's such a crapshoot. Like sometimes they'll just call a guy up and you're like, oh wow, they caught him way faster. Or other guys, they just leave them there forever.
Yeah, I got something that's going to make you happy. Shagan Lynn hit a home run today.
No.
Yeah.
Oh. Please, if there's a God, someone there got video of that.
Trey Collins baseball on Instagram. He's usually at a lot of ACL games, so
okay.
I'll keep my eye out on him.
I'll be looking for it. I think that's only Lynn's second extra base hit of the year.
Yeah, he's been struggling offensively this year.
I wonder if how much the pitching's kind of
probably it has to be.
He was also hurt. I do know that.
Yeah. Tyson Lewis is 1 for 2. It's looking. Now I'm excited about, especially Tyson Lewis in particular, and Arnaldo Antigua. Getting him for basically nothing. I mean, yeah, they got the Japanese pitcher, but getting him for basically nothing, he could turn out to be something really good.
Yeah, there's some really good talent for the Reds. Unfortunately, it's quite a ways away.
It's a ways down there.
I mean, obviously there's a good crop at Chattanooga that could be contributing next year, but everyone else is pretty far down. But hey, look, they all matter, and it's all pieces to a puzzle at some point that you piece together. But definitely what we're seeing in the ACL has been very, very encouraging. Some of what we're seeing in the DSL is encouraging, and then some of Daytona is encouraging as well. Be nice to see if nice to see some of these teams, Ricky, have a good second half. And Chattanooga's already clinched a playoff. Dayton's got a chance. I mean,
they've been playing some good ball lately.
Well, it's the cheapest playoff bid in minor league baseball. Probably there's 4 teams, and if you the second half you only have to beat 2 of them, because one of them's already clinched it. So you could really easily get a playoff and not even really be all that good.
Yeah,
but
Dayton they're down
10-5
right now,
and Daytona's actually, last I checked, I thought they had a 2-game lead for a playoff spot in the second half.
I believe you're right.
Now, if you go to the standings, this is where you could get thrown off here.
Yeah.
Because if you go to the standing, you're going to say, they're a game back. But if you look at the St. Lucie and you see that little star next to them, that means they clinched, and so they're ineligible. So they actually have a 1.5 lead over Jupiter. So there you go. The more you know.
Yeah, Chattanooga's up 3-0 right now. The ACL Reds are up 2-0, but everybody else is down.
Chattanooga's the only team that doesn't matter.
Yeah. Louisville, they won 12-5. Petty got the win. I wanted to ask you about some more like lower level guys.
Okay.
Starlin Torres. Have you been looking at any of his
stuff?
I
haven't seen any of his stuff.
He's got. I mean, there's no like scouting grades on him, but from what I've seen, fastball 94 to 97, hammer of a slider. His ERA is just lights out. 35 innings this season. He's got a 1.54 ERA with 42 strikeouts. Like, he's carving guys up down in the ACL. He's only 19 too. He's like, but there's like, you can't find any highlights on this guy.
Yeah, you can't find. I mean, you can't find anything for any of those guys. That's why, they either have to be someone that I know trusted people have said to keep your eye on, and then I'll follow them, or else I don't care about. To be honest, I just don't care about what they do until they get to a level where I know that what they do actually matters on the field. And really, for me, until you get to Daytona and you do something, I don't really follow any of the players unless they're a prospect. Just because I've seen a lot of players in those leagues put up crazy numbers and then it never goes
just
anywhere.
Disappears.
Yeah.
He's in 23 games. He's got a 1.68 ERA, 91 innings. So he's been consistent.
Wow.
A whip 0.81. So maybe he becomes something, but I don't think he's ever been on any kind of listing or like radar at all.
Yeah, I think you're right. All right, Ricky, anything else, my friend? I'm gonna get some work done here tonight, knock some stuff out. And like I said, we'll be back. Me and Trace will be back in the 9th inning of the regularly scheduled game to recap the full day from the Reds. Thanks everyone who called in. Appreciate you, Ricky, jumping on here and having some fun hanging out. And we'll see y'all again tomorrow.
It's always a good time. Go Reds.